Hello, it's the 12th of April. We've just had an offer accepted on a house. I'm not getting my hopes up too much. Luckily, it's not like ding 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 the perfect house, but it's the sort of house that could be ding 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 the perfect house with a bit of work. Obviously, if this all goes through, then you'll get a tour of it when eventually we move in. But I thought I would just document the process this time because it was quite stressful last year, and I think it's important to talk about this stuff so that we don't spiral into our own sort of little wells of self-pity, and B, share, what it's really like to try and buy a house. For full disclosure, I have owned a house in a previous relationship. Mike hasn't. And so technically, I don't think we're technically from a tax point of view, we're not classed as first-time buyers. From a mortgage point of view, some mortgage providers will class us as a first-time buyer because it's been 7 years since I owned that house. So if you're in a similar situation, then do just double check, because you can sometimes get slightly better deals, mortgage wise anyway. I'm very surprised that they accepted our offer because it was a little bit it's quite a bit under the asking price, but we thought we'd be cheeky. We thought we'd ask. It needs some TLC, and we use the fact that we're able to move quickly as a bargaining tool. And they didn't accept our first very cheeky offer. And to be honest, we didn't put our second offer up that much, but they did accept it. So really happy, please. Watch this space. I have no idea. I need to ask the estate agent what sort of position they're in. I don't know if they are looking, if they need to find somewhere now, or if they are, if they've got something sorted. Without going into a lot of detail on someone else's personal life, the family that are owning it are now finding 2 places to live. So I think we can all understand that. So it just depends on how that's going to work for them, really. And if that means there's going to be a chain, blah, 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 I don't know yet. So we'll find all of that out. But now it's time for a lot of admin. Luckily, we already know of a good solicitor that we like, so I'll just be contacting them. We will need to contact movers. We've got our mortgage in principle ready to go, so I just need to contact our mortgage broker and get that ball rolling as well. So at the moment, things are going to be fairly straightforward. I really thrive in this sort of thing because I love the organisation aspect of it. So I'm really good at sort of when people say, right, I need this document, I'll ping it back almost immediately. I save everything I scan. So a lot of what we scanned last year, I've already got saved on my computer. So it's not very difficult to then go and, scan it, send it off again. I'll keep you informed. If this one falls through, then it falls through. We are still going to be doing viewings. It's not the best etiquette. Some people are like, well, if you're putting an offer in our house, then why are you still looking? But because we've been stung twice in the past now, we just, in case anything happened, wants to keep looking, so that we can have a plan B or C or D or whatever plan we're on now. Hello, it is a week later, exactly a week later, and things have gone quite quickly, a little bit too quickly for my liking. We've had our mortgage offer come through, absolutely fine. So we've paid the mortgage advisor for his services. We've instructed our solicitor and filled out all the forms for them. I do need to just pay them like the initial payment. Our seller, so the person we're buying our house off of, has found somewhere to live. So yeah, going fairly well. Oh, and our survey on the property that we're buying is being done today, I believe. So hopefully that shouldn't come back with anything too scary. I'm not anticipating anything scary. It's like a pretty well normal built house. So we'll see. We got like the mid-range survey, and they always come up with something, don't they? I remember the survey I had on my last house that I owned, and it was like a tomb of stuff that you could potentially, you know, need to repair in some point in the future. So anyway, we'll see about that. So far, so good. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable with that feeling that things are going too smoothly, because obviously we had such a bad experience last year with 2 sales falling through, but the main hurdles that or stumbling blocks I should say, that we had last year, we have passed. So fingers crossed. Currently the solicitors are saying between 10 and 12 weeks for completion. Obviously that depends on the chain. I don't think there's a chain ahead of our seller and what they're buying, but I might be wrong. I need to double check that. So if we're looking at that, we're looking at midsummer to get into the house, which will be nice. Mike's birthday's at the end of June, so that'll be a nice little birthday present for him. It does mean that if it goes through quickly, we won't save as much money as if it went slowly. It swings and roundabouts. Either we move in quicker, and that's nice because we have a house quicker, or we stay here a little bit longer and we save more money so that we can, you know, be a bit more ready to do things when we get in. Anyway, that's the update. So the plan is obviously to save as much money as possible. Things left to do will be obviously pack, but we can't do that till nearer the time. Things like we're going to have movers this time with me and my lupus. When we moved into this place, it was really hard work for Mike, so we decided it wasn't fair on anyone to help us move this time. We're going to treat ourselves to movers, so won't necessarily be the cheapest thing to do, but it'll just make the whole experience a lot more comfortable. It's about a month after we initially got the offer accepted. We had our survey done, and that came back yesterday, and it looks fine. Nothing particularly to be worried about. There's a few things that we need to sort out, but we were going to probably sort those things out anyway, so they might just get bumped up sooner rather than later. It said about, you know, getting things like certificates for the gas and electricity and blah blah blah, and we were obviously going to get our solicitors to sort that out anyway. So yeah, that is looking good. We are just waiting for the sellers to sign the first contract or first draft of the contract, and then that will, I assume, go to our solicitors and then come to us to have a look at, or not, as the case may be. So it's kind of all just going along really nicely. We went for a second viewing with Mum and Dad. I'm not sure if I talked about that already, but we did, and they were really happy. They didn't see anything that they were worried about. They really liked the place. They were very supportive. Dad and I had a chat about sort of plans for changing the decor and doing the garden and things like that. We got the level 2 home buyer one, so there's like the basic valuation one. Then there's this one where they go into a little bit more detail about the structure of the property and, you know, any problems that could go wrong with it. It's a little bit scary, but it's not as scary as if you got a level 3 where they go into really details, and we didn't need that. It's not a property, it's not like a unusually built property, it's not a period property, so we didn't need the level 3. But if you've never had a survey before, then it can be a little bit scary when you get an 89-page document sent through to you. But you know, once you've sifted through all the jargon, actually, like I say, a lot of it is just about a bit of maintenance really, and making sure that everything gets looked after well, which is obviously the plan anyway. Hello, it's been gosh, don't even know how long it's been. Let's just say a few weeks since I last checked in with you. It's coming up to the end. It is the end of May today. Yesterday we had some more searches come through. I can't remember if I said last week. So we've had the environmental search come through, and we've had like the water search come through. We're still waiting for like the local council searches to come through. Yesterday Mike went and picked up our contract pack, which is large, and we need to read it and sign it and take it back. So I think that's going to be our job this evening, is to go through that and make sure that we are happy with everything. We've got a list of what the sellers are hoping to take and hoping to leave behind, which is fine. There's a few bits that they're planning to take, like they want to take the tumble dryer and the dishwasher, which is not ideal, but we can live without both of those things. They're taking their washing machine, but we already have a washing machine. They're leaving their fridge, or at least they're saying they can leave the fridge if we want them to, which we're going to say yes to, I think, because it's a big American fridge, and yeah, I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why send it to landfill if you know, we can rehome it and it works just fine, and it will do us until we want a new one, or if it stops working or whatever. Anyway, so we're looking like we're probably going to exchange in about 2-3 weeks time, which will be nice. I don't think we'll complete at the same time, because I think we're waiting on the seller and what she's buying, but you know, hopefully we'll be in sort of end of July, we'll be in. So I'm kind of getting a bit impatient now, because I want to start looking at movers, but the solicitors are really adamant that we shouldn't do that until we've got better ideas of timelines, which is absolutely fine, and I totally understand that. But me being so incredibly, like, I need the plans, I need to start the organisation, so I'm having to sit on my hands a little bit with that. But the other things we need to look at, there are a few things that we can be doing whilst we're waiting. So we need to start looking at things like buildings insurance, and we've got contents because you need that for renting, but we need to do building insurance. We need to sign all the forms. So there's a few bits we can be getting on with. It all seems to be going pretty smoothly at the moment. There's a few things that our solicitor has gone back to the seller's solicitor about, just to clarify, but nothing huge, I don't think. Nothing that's going to be, you know, or it doesn't. This could be famous last words. This could be. You wait. The next time I check in, I'll be like, everything's ground to a halt. But no, at the moment, touch wood, it looks like everything, you know, there's nothing big, there's nothing hugely concerning going on. Hello. I can't remember when I last talked to you about house stuff. I certainly didn't have a fringe when we last talked about house stuff. Maybe like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, all of our searches have come through now. You can see I'm looking a little bit more deflated about things. All of our searches have come through, which are fine. There's a couple of queries which our solicitor is now asking our seller's solicitor about. How do I put this nicely? The problem with buying houses is the similar problem to a lot of other things in life. You have to deal with other people. And I have to remember that not everyone is as organised as I am. Indeed, not everyone is as organised as Mike is. I mean, he has to be more organised because he's married to me. But as a result, things are not as far as long as I would like them to be. It's not due to, you know, it's not really due to anything particular. Well, it's due to something in particular, but I'm not going to go into that details. You can probably read between the lines, assuming I leave this all in. Yeah, so we were hoping to be exchanging like this week, next week. It's probably going to be at least another 2 weeks, if not longer, until we exchange. And then you've got to add, well, you haven't got to, but average is add on another 4 weeks after that. So it's looking like probably not going to be moving until August, unless we decide to exchange and complete very quickly, which in theory we could exchange and complete when I owned my last house, I think we exchanged and completed on the same day. I know that used to be more of a thing. I'm not sure. I don't know that. I think it used to be more of a thing that you'd exchange and complete on the same day. So we might do. You know, it might not be as slow as August, but it's certainly, you know, one point it was going to be, or maybe we'll exchange and complete by the end of June. Then we're thinking, okay, mid-July. Now it's looking like it's going to be August. So we shall see. It is what it is, and you know, it's not ideal. The problem is both Mike and I have been stung. We had 2 sales fall through last year, and as a result we're a little bit extra cautious, extra anxious about this. And we've explained this to the estate agents, you know, if we're ringing you very regularly, it's because we're very anxious about it and we want to make sure that everything goes through. We've had no cause for concern, you know, that the sale isn't going to go through. It's just things are taking their time. So it is what it is. Anyway, I have to go back to work, but I just wanted to update you because it's getting to the point now where we're basically just going to be ringing and ringing and ringing until things are done. I know someone whose sale not long ago took 6 months to complete, so I'm hoping it doesn't take that long. I'm trying to think when we put our offer in would have been like, what, mid-April? So we're at 2 months now. We're probably at like 10 weeks now, so we're still not like over the timeline, which was sort of 10 to 12 weeks. But it's going to be very unlikely that we exchange and complete in the next 2 weeks, let's put it that way. I might come on here next and be like, so it's 2 weeks later and we've exchanged and completed. I really hope that's what I say next time I log in. Or, you know, update you. I doubt it will be. Hello. I can't even remember when I last spoke to you guys about this. Probably July. I honestly can't remember. It is September the 20th. It's been an incredibly stressful 6 to 8 weeks since we last had any progress, and we finally exchanged on our contracts today, and we are gaining our keys on Friday. If you're wondering where I am, by the way, I'm away for work, so it's been doubly stressful because I've not been at home to deal with things. But Mike has been an absolute angel. He's sorted everything out, and honestly, I'm so lucky to have him helping me out. Not helping me out, obviously it's an equal responsibility, but you know, being a good partner, a good teammate in all of this. And yeah, so I go home tomorrow from my hotel room, and then we go and pick up our keys roughly Friday afternoon, roughly. So probably, I haven't figured out how I'm gonna where I'm gonna do one video end and another video start, but I want to do an empty house tour, and I want to do with you sort of like, as we're doing the tour, our vision roughly for how we want to change things, how we want to put our own stamp on things. And that's probably going to be quite a long video. So probably what I'll do is end this video here. and yeah, then I can talk to you maybe later on about what happened with the process of collecting the keys. Maybe you won't, I don't know, we might, I don't know, we'll figure it out. So I might be ending this video here. You might be seeing another clip in a minute about me talking about us being in the house and collecting the keys and sort of that little last bit of the process. But honestly, it will almost be 6 months by the time we get in on Friday. It's taken a long time, way longer than the average is, and we've had some real challenges that not everyone gets. So our story about buying a house has been a real unique one. It's been a real roller coaster, and I don't want, if you are thinking about starting to look about buying, you're trying to do that research, you're wondering if you've got enough money or you're saving for that sort of thing, then please don't be put off by our process, because we have been incredibly unlucky with the stress of losing 2 sales, nearly losing this one a few times, but now we've exchanged. It's got to happen, it's all legal, it's got to go through. So yeah, big relief here all round. I cannot tell you how stressful it's been. It's been like a little person just here, like whispering all the time, don't forget that, don't forget that, don't forget that. So I'm very pleased about that. Yeah, I need to go and have a shower because I'm going out for a work meeting this evening, so I'll catch up with you either another video, or I will talk about collecting keys and how that works in a minute.